Hi there, everybody. This is Carol Mahoney here from Unbound Growth, and I just got off the weekly Live Sales Lab, and I was so honored and delighted to be joined by Danita Bye, who is the author of Millennials Matter, Proven Strategies for Building Your Next Gen Leader. And we talked a lot about some of the mentors and things and coaches that have an impact on our lives, but actually one of the first questions I think we should address, Danita, is the difference between mentoring and coaching.
Well, there's lots of formal differences between coaching and mentoring. How I see it is coaching is typically very specific. We have a key skill, a key mindset, a key situation that we're working on. So it's very specific. Mentoring can typically be longer term. In our group today, someone said it might be more career oriented, or but I see it as being a more emotional connection than as being task.
Right. So mentor is more long-term, coaching more short-term, specific, and task and skill oriented. So moving then to the mentor side of thing, what makes a good mentor?
Well, during our time, I talked about one of my mentors, which actually was a coach. It was my first sales manager at Xerox Corporation. And some of the characteristics that he demonstrated are the same that I find in a good mentor. One is they're willing to take the time to listen and to really listen, and they really care about you and who you are. So that's one. Next is that they're encouraging. When I felt like throwing in the towel at Xerox, when I was ready to completely leave sales, Bob was the one who would come along and encourage me. And then after he listened and encouraged me, he would kick me in the butt and say, get out and do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's that additional element of challenge, and not only the challenge, but the accountability that goes with it.
So we all need
the same things.
Yeah, so we all need a Bob, right? So where are some of the places to go and look for mentors? We had a couple of examples in the sales lab. What would you recommend for someone who's looking for a mentor?
One of the issues that was raised in the sales lab is sometimes the formal mentoring programs feel stiff and contrived. And it may be as part of the company that you're with that you need to participate in those. Great. And as professionals, we really need to develop our own coaching, mentoring, and learning program. Ultimately, that's our responsibility. So there's a couple of places. There can be industry associations where you're looking to find people who might be your right match with what you're dealing with now, as well as what your career goals are. There could be books, I think books, podcasts, audios, all of that can be part of our creating a coaching and mentoring support system.
Mm-hmm. I love that the idea that books could be mentors. And we were actually talking about that in the first book that I thought of. That was my first book mentor, was Waiting for Your Cat to Bark by Brian Eisenberg. I totally have to tag him in this recap, but it really was the thing that formed my foundation of being buyer focused first and foremost, because that's what we're all here for. So I love that books can be mentors thing. So I'm going to have more and more shelves of mentors. You mentioned your manager, Bob, too. And how can we also learn from bad managers? Because I know that I've had probably bad managers and supervisors and learned what not to do. So how do you manage that?
Well, when I talk to people who have bad managers, one of the things that I'll say is this is a great opportunity for you to write your own book because you know what not to do. So keep track of that so that as you're moving into leadership and management, that you know what not to do. So, that's kind of one fun idea. Always remember that we are pursuing our goals and our purpose and what we are called to do. So we take every situation and align it with that purpose.
Which requires, and one of the things that was interesting as we were talking about this is that there's the person-to-person mentoring relationship, there's the book-to-person mentoring relationship, but then there's all the inner sort of mentoringship that we have to do in reflecting and becoming self-aware. And as you know, and as I've found with clients too, a lot of times that very first step in moving in anything, and even being a mentor and coach, is becoming more self-aware and taking that first step. So, I like the whole idea of the different ways that you can get mentoring and build that support network. So thank you so much, Danita, for joining us today. If you all have not picked up her book yet, then please do so, because it's one that you should. I joked with someone, give this to every single boss that you have in your company.
That's right.
So thank you so much. And everybody, join us next week for the next Live Sales Lab. We're going to be having an open mic day where we're going to talk specifically about whatever situations you're going through right now to move the sale forward or have the conversation that you want to have. Carol Mahoney from Unbound Growth, over and out. Thank you.
Thank you.